All right, what's up, everyone? So let's do the next notes here. The next notes is called patterns and conjectures. So we're going to move away from doing lines and shapes for right now. We're going to get into a little bit what we call geometric logic, as they call it. And it's not too difficult because, patterns, you've done patterns before. And they're just easy to look at and look at them. So number 1 says, look for a pattern. So from 3 to 9. Well, from 3 to 9, it's plus 6. Okay. And then from 9 to 27, do you do plus 6 to get 27? No. So then that's not the pattern. So what else pattern do you think it's going to be? Well, how do you go from 3 and get 27? To get 9, sorry. Right? Well, like you think about it, 3, you can't do plus 6, so what else can you do? Well, you can times 3. Times 3. So let's see if that works for all of them, and if it doesn't, you found the pattern. 3 times 3. 3 times 3, does that equal 9? Yes. We'll do the next one. 9. 9 times 3. Does that give me 27? Yes. 27. 27 times 3. Does that give me 81? 27 times 3. 7 times 3 is 21. Carry the 2. 81. There you go. So then how would you get the next number? How would you get the next number? Well, then you would just keep the pattern going. You would get 81 and put times 3, and that'll give you the next number. So then 81 times 3, 8 times 3 is 243. So that's the next number. And if you wanted the next number after that, then you would just times 3 again, right? So you found the pattern. The pattern is times 3. The next one here, number 2. Again, we're just looking for the pattern. How do you go from 45 to 40? Well, if you subtract 5. Let's see if the pattern works again. How do you go from 40 to 35? Do you subtract 5 again? Yes. So that worked, and that worked. 35 to 30, subtract 5. Very good, we found the pattern. The pattern would be to subtract 5. So how do we get the next number? Well, you would get 30, and you would subtract 5. 30 minus 5 would give you 25. And that's the next number, right? And you're done. So, a conjecture. The next part we're going to do. A conjecture is the process of making a conclusion based on patterns and observations. It's kind of what we did here already. We found a pattern and we made a conclusion based on the patterns that it was going to be 25. Because we kept seeing that it was going to be minus 5, minus 5, minus 5. So that's what a conjecture is. Okay? So the next one says, what conjecture can you make about the 21st term in this pattern? So let's see. We have R, W, B, R, W, B. So can we find the pattern? I don't know. Well, let's see. R, W, B, R, W. There you go. R, W, B. First, second, third, and then R is the first number, W is the second, and B is the third. So it just goes RWB, RWB, RWB over and over and over and over and over, right? So it wants to figure out the 21st term. Well, you could just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So then 21 falls under the letter B. There are other ways to do this, of course. So the answer here, the 21st term, would be letter B. You can see the pattern that, R's have the 1 and 7, or the 1 and 3s and whatnot. The B's are all multiples of 3. See, 3, 9, 15, 21, so whatever, right? As long as you get the answer, that's all that matters. long as you understand the pattern and how we get there. Number 4 says, using the graph, what conjecture can you make about how many backpacks will be sold during the month of May? So during the month of May, how many backpacks will be sold? So we're looking for a pattern. So this is November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So here's our May. Okay. First, what do you notice about this graph? Or this graph. The dots, right? The points. What are they doing? They're going down. They are going down. Right? It's going in like a negative slope, as they call it. So we're trying to figure out May. What number would be here on the May part? Are you going to get an exact answer? Of course not. But we're making a conjecture. You're making like an educated guess. So you can kind of see here, like this looks like it's going pretty much down here. So maybe your next dot would be maybe somewhere here-ish, somewhere around there, right? Somewhere around there. So somewhere about 8,000 is what I would guess. So how many in month of May? I would say about 8,000 backpacks. Now we're going to move to something that we call true-false statements. True and false statements. A counterexample. A counterexample is an example that shows a conclusion to be false. Okay? So when we get into these statements, like you have to think of them literally for every single case. So let's get into number 5 here. If you live in the Rio Grande Valley, then you live in Harlingen, Texas. Is that a true statement? If you live in the Rio Grande Valley, then you live in Harlingen, Texas. Is that true? I mean, yes and no. And this is the way you have to think about it. If you live in the Rio Grande Valley, then you live in Harlingen. And that's it. Does that make sense? Is Harlingen the only place you can live in to live in the Rio Grande Valley? No. So then give a counterexample. What do you mean, no? Well, we're going to say that this is a false statement. You can live in McAllen and still live in the Rio Grande Valley. Right? Or you can live in Mercedes or Westico or Donna or Far or whatever, right? And still live in the Rio Grande Valley. So if it says if you live in the Rio Grande Valley, then you live in Harlingen. Well, technically, if you live in Harlingen, you do live in the Rio Grande Valley. But you can live other places too. That's why number 5 is a false statement. And it says to give a counterexample. Give a counterexample to the false statements. Prove it wrong. Number 6. If you are a bird, then you fly. If you're a bird, then you fly. That's what? What do you think it is? Is it true? If you say true, that means all birds fly. Do all birds fly? No, they don't. This is a false statement. Penguins don't fly. Or chickens don't fly. So there you go. You know what I mean? If you think about it, oh, most birds fly. No, it has to be all birds fly. Okay? Just like in number 5, this is where you live in Harlingen. It'd have to be like you only live in Harlingen. That's the only place that encompasses the Rio Grande Valley. This is real tricky. So be careful here. Number 7 says, if the name of the month starts with the letter J, then it is a summer month. if the name of a month starts with the letter J, it is a summer month. Is that true or false? If you say it's true, then all the months with the letter J are summer months. So let's see. June and July. Are those summer months? Yes. But what? We're missing one more. What more months? What other month starts with the letter J? January. And January is not a summer month. So false. January is not a summer month. Now, are all the statements going to be false? No, of course not. Then you have to think about it. Number 8. If angle, that makes no sense. It says if an angle is acute, if an angle is an acute angle, then it's 30 degrees. Is that true or false? If an angle is 30 degrees, then, if an angle is acute, then it's 30 degrees. Does that make sense? Is that true? You have to think about it. If you think about it, if you have a 30-degree angle, are you acute? Then the answer is yes. That would be a true statement. But it's saying if an angle is an acute angle, then it has to be 30 degrees. Is that true? No. False. Because what? 34 degrees is also acute. So just think about like if you're trying to argue with a statement, pretty much. If you can argue and find an example that says, no, that's wrong because I have another example saying this also, then it's false and you have a counterexample. Number 9. If angle A is equal to 60 degrees, so angle A equal to 60 degrees, and angle B is equal to 120 degrees, then they are supplementary angles. What does supplementary mean again? You remember? Look at your notes. Supplementary angles mean that you have two angles that equal 180 degrees. So if angle A is 60 and angle B is 120, can you say that these are supplementary? Does 120 plus 60 equal 180? Yes. So this is a true statement. Now, if they were to flip it around and say like supplementary angles are angles that are equal to 60 and 120, well, that would be false because you can make 180 degrees with any other two numbers. You know what I mean? 90 and 90, 30 and 150. But it's saying that if A is 60 and B is 120, then you have 180. Yeah, that's true. Like, okay. Then our last one. An even number can never be divided by 3. An even number can never be divided by 3. So, even numbers. What's an even number? I don't know. 2. Can you divide 2 by 3? Nope. Can you divide 4 by 3? 4 by 3? Nope. 6? Can you divide 6 by 3? Oh, you can divide 6 in 3. That gives you 2. So then, this is false. Because 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. And 6 is an even number. Right? And that's it for the notes. Every question is going to be different. I can't give you an example of what you can have on your assignment because you're trying to find patterns. You look at the numbers and you see how far they're going up. They're going up by 7, then by 9, by whatever, you know what I mean? And you just try to find the pattern and you keep on going. And then I give you statements and you try to tell me like, oh, that's a true statement. Like, nope, that's false because of this, the counterexample. So this section here is not too many notes, so that's why I like it. But it can be a little confusing, so be careful. All right, laters.